Oh, brother. Hello, my name is Mark. I'm addicted to the internet, and you probably are too, but that's okay. But even though I say that, it's difficult for me to internalize what exactly that means. Because I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't gamble. I don't really do any of the things that are commonly associated with gambling. No, addiction. So I think I carry some attitude of, oh, I can't be addicted to stuff. I don't have an addictive personality. But I clearly do. At least I'm susceptible to it because I can't stop using the internet. I'm on my phone all the time. It's the first thing I look at when I wake up. It's the last thing I look at before I go to bed. And I know that I'm unhappy when I'm using it. I'm scrolling with the feeling of like, I hate this. I have to stop, and this is a waste of time. And then I don't. But I think that's a familiar feeling for a lot of people in my cohort, at least. So this is why I'm making a video, is I'm hoping to channel this anxiety and this feeling of like, I need to interact with my phone and use the internet. I'm hoping to channel that into something good, that whenever I get that urge, I can make content instead and do something at least a little bit productive. So, with my time, I want to talk a little bit about a piece of information I read in a book called If Mayors Ruled the World, which is a book about cities. It's really quite good. I think if you enjoy city propaganda and questions of local governance and the role that cities should fill in our society, I think you should read it. But the point of information that I'm talking about is really an aside from the book because it doesn't have anything to do, at least not directly, with cities. And it's talking about this idea of a push versus pull system, and specifically in the context of the internet, where push and pull sort of represents how the user of the internet interacts with the data, because that's what the internet is. It's completely comprised of the spread of data. So push and pull talks about how we interact with the data, and I feel like the names are pretty clear. A push system of internet is one where media and content is placed upon you and it's pushed into the direction of the user, whereas a pull is sort of the earlier version of the internet where you have to make a query and you have to have an existing idea beforehand in order to get the content. I guess to say it more plainly is, on the old internet, you have to construct queries. You have to go into it with an idea of, this is what I'm looking to see. Because there is no underlying algorithm, at least at that time, that was scrolling over all of your metadata and being able to paint a really advanced picture of who you are and your habits, such that it's able to fill out a timeline of content that you're more likely to click on than not. You can see that is very different to what the internet is now, especially with modern social media, where there's so much information about us. There's so much, and these underlying systems, these algorithms are so advanced that, they're unbelievable. They're so good at showing me stuff that I want to see, or at least I think I want to see. And that's why I can't get off, because they're so captivating. They have such a good idea of what I want to see. And my point in bringing that up, and I guess what I want to talk about is, to put it briefly, man, that sucks. I hate what the internet is now. I don't enjoy this feeling of interacting with a push system. And part of that comes from an underlying feeling of, I don't enjoy feeling like none of my opinions, the things that I believe, are naturally my own. And it's like, they are my opinions, and they are what I think, but there's also just I have this perspective of a lot of what I do believe is a product of the environment that I was exposed to. And that environment is the internet, is where I spend most of my time and getting most of my information. So it's really an unpleasant feeling. And I think on top of that, recently, I think I've had an awakening of sorts where I've been telling myself, whenever I see something that makes me mad on the internet, and most things on the internet make me mad, because that's the whole point. Because anger is so good for engagement. But anyway, whenever I see something that makes me mad, I think to myself, do I know a person in real life who would say the things that they're saying on the internet? Like, if somebody just says something really dumb, and I'm like, that's so dumb. If I think to myself, do I actually know anybody who would believe that or say that? The answer is usually no. And what I take from that is this feeling of, most of the people, at least the most notable examples of people having inflammatory opinions, are kind of fake. Like, they might be real people, but they want engagement, and they understand the system, and it's working out for them. And that is especially true in the age of AI, where now it might not even be a person. Now it's not even a person. Like, it's a robot. And now, even for things that don't make me angry on the internet, even if it's just like normal, I don't know, r/fun facts, like the conversation in the comment, even if it's totally benign and it doesn't seem like it has any ulterior motive, I can't help but think that might be a robot. Like, that, there might be no humanity behind that at all. And how boring is that? I don't care what a robot has to say, not even a little bit. And that's been good for me, to have that realization, because it has made the internet less appealing. And I still use it all the time. But I find myself, I think as evident in making this video, that, hey, there's progress, and there is a way out. So I think the idea that I'm hoping to leave with this is, boy, it feels hard to imagine existing in a world without the internet, or where the internet is not what it is in terms of importance and frequency in all of our lives. And that feels very difficult because it is such a big part of our lives. And it has been for a number of years, but also not that long, especially modern media. So I've been thinking to myself, and I want to pose a question to you, is, how unrealistic is it that we can just say, that's enough internet. Like, let's dial it way back. I don't know. I think that'd be pretty nice. But anyway, that's all. Goodbye.